I don't think the pursuit of life should be happiness. I think there's something we should pursue that's much greater. And that greater thing. All right, so I got asked this question on Instagram when you post the little ask me anything kind of thing. And one guy asked, how do I move from depression to motivation? And he answered his own question in the question. He said, how do I move from depression to motivation? And that's the answer. You move. So we've all been there. I think every human has been quote unquote depressed at some period in their life. They may not label it that. One man's depression is a down day, and another person will call it depression and really dive into that feeling and feed that emotion and give it more attention than the things that they have to do. But the way out of depression and into motivation isn't to wait for the feeling to come. Feelings are fickle. They're fickle little bitches that they come and go when they please. You don't always have control over when they come into your life. So if you want to live a good life, if you want to live an inspiring life and all that stuff, you have to do things regardless of what you feel like doing. So you move from depression into motivation by things that I've done that have worked for me. One, I do difficult shit early on in the day. So I'll get my lifting done first thing in the morning. I'll get my cardio done right after that lift. So this morning around 5:30, I went to the gym, I lifted, and then I did 11 minutes on the treadmill and then 6 minutes of 10-second sprints with 50 seconds rest. And whatever, I was done by 6:30 or something, came home, walked the dogs. But I got that difficult stuff done early, the things that have the most resistance. And so this comes into work as well. I'll do the videos early in the morning because for me, that has the most resistance. That is the thing that I will put off and continue to put off until it just never gets done. So regardless of how you feel, if you're depressed, if you're down, if you have low energy, whatever, you just have to make yourself do difficult things. And one of the things I do early, especially in winter, is purely because it's difficult. I know there's health benefits to it. I know it helps you regulate cortisol and stress and things like that. But I go outside in the morning when it's minus 30, minus 35, minus 25, 5 to 10 minutes and freeze my ass off just because it's difficult. And doing that difficult thing early, it feels like more of a win when you do the difficult things and you check them off the list than when you do the easy things that you like doing or enjoy doing. I actually like going to the gym. I like doing the cardio. I don't like doing the cold therapy thing, and I don't like stretching. So I get those things done very early in the morning. And even though I like doing the lifting and cardio, if you leave it to the end of the day, there is that chance that you won't do it because things are brought into your day. Maybe you start feeling down, maybe you start getting a little depressed, maybe you start getting stressed, whatever. But when you do the difficult shit early on in the day, they feel like more of a win. You feel like more of a winner, which ends up making you more motivated. You move into motivation. You force the motivation. What you do should not be predicated on how you feel. That's a huge mistake we're making in our society and our culture these days. We're giving so much importance to feelings. You can feel whatever now. You can feel like a dog. You can feel like a cat. You can feel like a man if you're a woman, or a woman if you're a man. You can feel depressed, and then that gives you an excuse to act depressed. But that's not how life is. I saw a quote by Jordan Peterson, a little thing about Abraham in the Bible. And Abraham was 80 years old, living in his dad's tent, with an easy life. But God called him to adventure. He called him to pain and suffering and something greater than his happiness. He might have been happy for those 80 years where he was doing nothing. Yeah, I question the happiness, but life was easy. I don't think the pursuit of life should be happiness. I think there's something we should pursue that's much greater. And that greater thing should be adventure. It should be struggle. It should be meaning and purpose and trying to figure out how great we can become while we're here, what we can achieve while we're here, and how much of ourselves we can give to life and to other people while we're here. If you allow your feelings to dictate what you do and you put more importance on your feelings than you do on your actions, if you let them sway everything you do, you're just going to feed those feelings. And your feelings are going to rule over you like a king. You're not going to be the king of your own domain. You're not going to be the king of your life, your home, your circle. Your feelings are going to rule over you. And a man who lets his feelings rule over him, anyone, a man, a woman, whatever, but especially a man, because we have to create our own value in life. We're not born with value. We have to see what we're made of. If you let your feelings rule over you, if you only do what makes you happy, if you chase happiness, if you give into your depression, your sadness, your malaise, whatever, you're just feeding and compounding those negatives. So a simple practice, which I just went over, is to just do difficult shit early. Just whatever you have to do 100 push-ups first thing in the morning, do 50 push-ups first thing in the morning, do 1 push-up first thing in the morning. Do something difficult so you can check that box off and show yourself that you're winning. You're doing the things you don't feel like doing, and you're not letting your feelings get in the way. Depression's a feeling. Happiness is a feeling. Pursue accomplishment, achievement, pursue discipline. When you get down or depressed, that's when discipline becomes even more important. Successful people simply have impulse control. That is discipline. They don't check their phone. They don't turn on the TV. They don't push things off into the future. So if you can just exercise impulse control, you're going to slowly, incrementally improve. And as your life improves and as your confidence grows and as you see yourself as a winner, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have good days, whatever. But if you can do the things you set out to do regardless of your feelings, you're just going to have a better life. And it makes depression more difficult to exist when you're accomplishing things. And I'm not talking about purely making money, because there's a lot of depressed guys who make a ton of money. I'm talking about doing shit, checking things off on your task book or task list, reading the book, doing the workout, doing the work that has the greatest resistance. As I said, videos have the greatest resistance for me, so that's why I have to do them earlier. Writing is easy for me, so I can do it later. But if you structure your day and your life to get things done regardless of how you feel, that's how you move into motivation, and you realize that you don't depend on motivation for anything. It's a feeling, and if you depend on feelings for the work to get done, for the tasks to be completed, you are not going to do anything of value in life. You're just going to be a victim to your feelings, and no man can be a victim. That's not how we're supposed to live. So if you're trying to move from discipline to motivation, I highly recommend doing this worked for me. Do the difficult things early, do the work with the most resistance first thing, and then build upon that, and just do it every day. And you'll be surprised at the results you can create, both in circumstance but also internally, how you feel about life and everything that's in it. So give that a shot.